Good evening, everyone. We'll go ahead and call this meeting to order for the Brawley City Council and successor agency to Brawley Community Redevelopment Agency. Special meeting agenda, Tuesday, April 16, 2019, at 6 p.m. in our City Council chambers at 383 Main Street in Brawley, California. Before we move on, I just wanted to express, Mayor Donnie Wharton expressed his regret for not being here today. He's out of town, out of state actually, so you'll have to deal with me today. So I'm happy to be here and to do the honors. Okay, so we'll go ahead and roll call.
Councilmember Nava?
Here.
Councilmember Couchman?
Here.
Councilmember Hamby?
Here.
Councilmember Kastner-Howdeke?
Here.
And Mayor Wharton is absent.
Okay. And we have Pastor Richard Rodriguez from House of Bread Ministries to do our invocation. Please stand.
Father in heaven, we just come before you, Lord God, with thanksgiving in our heart. We thank you for this day, Lord God. We thank you for this town we live in. Lord, we seek your wisdom and guidance, Lord God, in all the decision-making, Lord God. May you be glorified. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. Councilmember Hamby, can you lead us in the pledge?
Sure. Ready, begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Thank you, Pastor. Thank you, Luke.
You're welcome.
Hamby.
You should have sang it, though.
Okay.
I could sing.
Okay, the first item is the approval of the agenda.
Make a motion to approve the agenda as written.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, the motion carries. We move on to item number 2, public appearances and comments. Not to exceed 4 minutes. This is a time for the public to address the council on any item not appearing on the agenda that is within the subject matter jurisdiction of the city council. The mayor will recognize you, and when you come to the microphone, please state your name for the record. You are not allowed to make personal attacks on individuals or make comments which are slanderous or which may invade an individual's personal privacy. Please direct your questions and comments to the city council. Do we have any public comments? Please come up, please, to the microphone.
My name is Jesse Howdeke. I live on the 600 block of North El Cerrito. My property borders the Phil Swing School. Actually, we're separated by an alley, and that's the reason I'm here. I see parents dropping off their kids in the morning, and then they're speeding down the alley 30, 35 miles an hour. Kids are walking to school, and I'm afraid that, and these people are on the phone, they're texting, putting on their makeup. I'm out there, I yell at them to slow down, and I can't begin to tell you how many times they've given me the universal salute. I'm here, maybe if the city would help me. I took it upon myself and I put a speed bump, just sand and dirt to slow them down. And an officer and a city employee showed up at my house last week. And I told the city employee that I would take the speed bump down tomorrow. But my worry is when I do that, it'll go back to the way it was. The responding officer, he witnessed the people speeding down the alleys, and also they blocked the alley, north and south, so nobody can come down the alley. And if we ever we need first responders, they're gonna have to go completely around. And he told them, you know, he said that they can't do that. I would like the city, if they would put speed signs on each end of the alley, alerting these people that the speed limit is 15 miles an hour. Or if the city could put speed bumps to just stop these people from speeding, because I'm afraid that one of these days, one of those kids is going to get hurt, or God forbid.
Thank you very much for your information. We'll go ahead and make sure that that information is shared with, well, our chief is here also, so. Thank you, Mr. Howdeke. Okay. Item number 2A, We have the introduction of Police Officer Ricardo Rick Valdez by our Police Chief Robert Sawyer.
Good evening, Mayor Pro Tem, Member of Council, Robert Sawyer, Police Chief. It's my pleasure to come before you once again and to introduce a new member of our Brawley family and a new member to the Brawley Police Department, Ricardo Rick Valdez. He was sworn in this morning. He is from the Los Angeles, California area. One of the distinguishing events that he's had occur in his life is he had the honor and privilege to serve for the United States military and the Army. He has served one tour in Afghanistan. He was discharged honorably and has worked in the family business and as a loss prevention agent in the Los Angeles area prior to coming to us. He's a graduate of the Golden West Academy in Huntington Beach, California. And we're looking forward to many years of hard work from this young man. He did pretty well on the range today, I was told. Seems very eager to get to work, and we're very eager to put him to work. He's also joined by a couple special members from his family here in the audience today, and I'll turn the microphone over to him so he can make the introductions and answer any questions you might have.
Members of the council, my name is Ricardo Valdez from Los Angeles area. My parents, Rachel and David Valdez, are here with me.
Hello. Welcome.
I just want to say first, thank you to Chief. Sorry for giving me the opportunity and the chance. I'm greatly appreciative, and to all you for having faith and trust in me. And I look forward to working and contributing as much as I can and doing the best I can for the city and helping out in any way possible. And I appreciate the chances you have given me. Thank you.
I'll give our council an opportunity to say a few words. Go ahead and start with.
Just like to welcome you aboard and thank you for coming to Brawley. We need all the help we can get, and looks like you're ready to go. So welcome aboard.
Thank you, sir.
I met Officer Valdez this morning. I came to the swearing in. Very good, and we really appreciate it, and we look forward to having you here on the Brawley PD, and we know you'll do great. Okay? Thank you very much.
Officer Valdez, congratulations on your new position, and thank you for serving our country. I also want to congratulate your parents here for coming down, and I know it's a proud moment for you, so congratulations to you as well, and I wish you the best of luck and, of course, success and safety. So congratulations, and thank you for coming to Brawley.
Thank you, sir.
Mr. Valdez, congratulations on coming to Brawley. I think you're going to enjoy the city and the ambience of the city. Everybody's, it's a nice community to live in, and I think your parents will enjoy it also. And hopefully they'll make trips down here to see you, and just we'll warn you about the summer, if you don't already know. They can come back after the summer's over, but congratulations and welcome to the city of Brawley. We look forward to having you on board.
Thank you, ma'am.
So if I might add, this is a small portion of his family. I met, I think, 22 other members maybe.
This morning, yeah,
I was told I met about a sixth of his family.
Okay.
They were down here. It was a really wonderful morning for me because they had probably 8 or 9 children,
Yes.
roughly,
yeah.
with them, and they were out playing in the rain, so I got to go out and be young at heart again. It was a great way to start the morning, and I want to thank him for that. And speaking to having them come back down later on, I made them aware of the Cattle Call event and Mariachi Night and everything else in November.
good.
So we're counting on them to come back down. And Officer Valdez has been assigned the task of ensuring that they have the dates and times so that they can make those dates.
Very good.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. How confusing that must be. You show up to the desert and it's raining a little bit. Don't be fooled. It's hot.
It's very unusual for it to be raining
For
this time
rain
of
at
year,
this
but
time.
I'm glad you enjoyed the
They
rain.
brought the cooler weather with them.
Yeah.
Hey, do it again. Show up. Please. Thank you.
Thank you, Chief.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Chief.
Okay. We'll go ahead and move on to item number 3, our consent agenda.
Make a motion to approve the consent as written.
Okay.
I'll second it.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Before we actually approve the consent agenda, I just want to make a note that item 3B, the resolution in your packet, was incorrect, so you have the correct resolution there
Right here
right in
with
front
us.
of you. So I
Yeah.
just want to make sure that you had an opportunity to look at that
Yes.
before, okay,
I'll amend my motion to include the corrected resolution.
okay,
Second.
And I'll amend my second.
okay, thank you. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, motion carries. Thank you. Okay, moving on to item number 4. The tabled action after the public hearing on April 2nd, 2019. It has now continued to a special city council meeting scheduled on May 21st, 2019. And the subject matter on that was for a modification of the conditions of approval for Latico Ranch major subdivision. And on the agenda will be the city council discussion and potential action. So that's been moved to May 21st. Any questions on that?
Just with respect to the changing of that date, is it just to get further into getting information from the IID or the developer?
There were 2 reasons for the continuance. One was an interest in having all 5 council members present. And secondly, it provides us with perhaps an opportunity to get an answer from the Imperial Irrigation District on potential support for the undergrounding of the Best Canal.
Will that affect our start time? We're starting at 5 on that meeting?
We were already scheduled for it's called a special because it was 5 p.m. As opposed to our normal meeting time of 6 p.m. And the 5 p.m. was set due to the special and enterprise workshop portion of the agenda.
So we'll do that at 5, and then this will come on after the 6 o'clock, after we go to regular meeting?
We have yet to determine the order of items on the agenda and are prepared to carry out council's wish. If
Okay.
you want it first or second.
Do you have any preference at this point?
If a lot of people are here for that item, I'd prefer that we take it first, because then they don't have to go through all the stuff that we're going to be doing that evening. But if they're not, then I guess we could take it in any kind of order. But I think probably put it first if you anticipate a lot of the public being here.
Yeah, that's probably a good suggestion. I think at our last meeting, that's what happened. A lot of people left after that particular subject was covered.
Will we need a
so-
closed session prior to the beginning of that? No, we
We
shouldn't.
don't expect so.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you. Okay, moving on to item number 5, regular business. 5A, discussion and potential action to adopt resolution number, let's see, does it have a number on it?
2019.
No. Adopt a resolution of the City Council of the City of Brawley, California to incorporate a list of projects funded by SB 1, the Road Repair and Accountability Act in fiscal year 2019-2020, and you'll find the material on pages 48 through 51. And we have Mr. Guillermo Cias here to review that with us.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor, members of the council. Guillermo Sillas, Public Works Director. The item that it was mentioned is regarding the 3rd year of allocation from Senate Bill number 1, SB 1. That it's an allocation approximately $453,000 to include a street for rehabilitation, and so the resolution is required to be able to comply with the requirements to allocate this money. And the material, it is included the 2 streets that were identified being 2nd Street from Mainland Street to K Street, and H Street from Rio Vista Avenue to Las Flores Drive. And these segments were included based on the map that was identified in 2013 for several programs for LTA Measure D bonds. So since at that time the funds were not enough, so we are still pending to rehabilitate some of the streets included on that program. And these 2 streets were selected from that map. Any questions that you may have? There's also a match, a local match of 11.47%.
$52,000.
Anybody have any questions?
I make a motion, we approve the resolution.
Second the motion.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, the motion passes. Thank you, Guillermo, and I think you probably need to stay there, right?
Looks like he's there for
Good
the whole
night.
thing.
Okay, the next item on the agenda is discussion and potential action to adopt a resolution of the City Council of the City of Brawley, California, authorizing the submission of the City of Brawley's proposed projects in response to ICTC Surface Transportation Block Grant called or abbreviated to STBG 2018, call for projects for fiscal years 2019-2020 and fiscal year 2020-2021 and fiscal year 2021-2022. And you'll find the backup on pages 52 through 57. Guillermo?
Yes, this program was provided by ICTC, and it is to pretty much rehabilitate streets within the city. And this resolution will replace one that was already approved by the council, and it's because different amount of money were provided once ICTC received the projects from the different cities, and they did a proportion distribution of the funds, and ours was adjusted. So it's pretty much replace the resolution because it is the same projects that were already included and approved by council in a resolution. One just comment that I would like to make is that on the description of Legion Street, the description, instead of saying west of Kelly Avenue, should be east of Kelly Avenue, and also the resolution will be amended with that change.
Okay, thank you for that. Did you, on both the resolution and on the backup material, it indicated west, so that needs to say east of Cali.
Correct. These
Okay.
two segments were selected based on the classification map that is on file with Caltrans. So not all the streets qualify for this type of programs. So it has to be included in this map that was approved by Caltrans as the designated roads.
Okay.
Make a motion to approve the item with the amended resolution language.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, the motion carries. Thank you, Guillermo. And we'll move on to another item that is yours also. Okay. Item C, 5C, discussion and potential action to adopt resolution of the City Council of the City of Brawley, California, amending fiscal year 2018-2019 City of Brawley budget for the Public Works Department in the amount of $21,000. And the backup on this is on pages 58 through 65.
As you may recall, the city received notice from the Regional Water Quality Control Board, notice of violation of the NPDES permit for two contaminants, being one is bis or 2-ethyl hexyl, and the copper. And the board provided a settlement offer to the city to pay the fine with no further action. So the city decided to move forward with that settlement and sign and agreed on that settlement letter. And so the item is to actually pay for the fine that was imposed by the board. These violations are caused in not because the wastewater treatment plant is not being performing, is because there's from upstream, from outside of the plant, is being discharged and is being received on the plant. And even though we are trying to control, so it was something that was unexpected, and with the chemicals that we are applying were not sufficient, and we discharged. We exceeded the limit of our permit.
Does anyone have any questions? I had just one question. Guillermo, is there any way, I mean, nobody likes to pay fines, so Is there any way to avoid these type of occurrences in the future, or what do we do to avoid that?
Right, it's a difficult question because even though we are trying to do as much as we can on the I'm not an expert on wastewater treatment, but the information that I have from the chief operator is that even though we are applying chemicals, it's not like saying, why don't you apply double and you are safe? No, because it's a very sensitive balance of the organisms that are doing the work of treating the water. So it's not just to apply more chemicals to compensate or to prevent, the violations. It needs to be a balance on several items, and even they are applying as much as they can to control. There's no guarantee that they can control at the plant. That's the purpose of the pre-treatment program, to control it before entering to the plant.
And it may be helpful to note that Public Works personnel are in the process of conducting a citywide assessment of the origins of these items with a specific focus on the copper area. And we are working diligently to determine responsible parties into the future so that we can do our best to limit these impacts to our sewer plant.
Yes, Sam?
Mr. Nava and I toured the plant. We think the staff are doing a fine job on that, and you don't really want to know my opinion about the state fines, considering that we're dumping this water back, which is fully treated and in pretty good shape, back into the New River, which is the most polluted river in the United States of America. So you don't want to know my opinion on the state on these kind of fines, but we'll pay them, and we'll go ahead and go on about our business, because that's the expedient way for us to do this. However, I think the staff and the plant's doing its job. It's just that sometimes there are some incidences that do happen, but on the ultimate, we're putting very, very well-treated water back into the New River. And so that's basically what's happening here. So I'll leave it at that.
Short of calling it extortion?
Short of calling it that.
Okay, if no other questions, to entertain a motion?
Also move.
Second.
Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, the motion carries. Thank you, Guillermo. I think it's Guillermo's day today.
It is.
Okay, Guillermo, item 5D, discussion and potential action to adopt resolution of the City Council of the City of Brawley, California, amending fiscal year 2018-2019 City of Brawley budget for the Public Works Department in the amount of $30,000, and the backup is on pages 66 through 70.
Yes, as you might recall, we are in the middle of doing this project for Wildcat Drive from Western Avenue to First Street with a grant that covers design and also construction. And as a part of the construction, there's some items that are not eligible to pay for that by Caltrans or the state. And one of those are the undergrounding of the Pest Canal. That is also the first segment of the entire pipe from Western to Dagwood, and is also subject for Latigo Ranch to form part of that. And on this first segment, so we have several steps to comply for Caltrans application. And one of those is the undergrounding of this canal. And in order to do that, we have to enter into an agreement with the IID for design and construction. And the funds of $30,000 is for the design part that we have to pay to the IID to start design and to sign the agreement that will be submitted to Caltrans to move forward with the application.
Okay, thank you. Anyone have any questions for Guillermo?
I make a motion that we adopt this resolution.
Second the motion.
Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, the motion carries. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, the next item on the agenda is item 5E, discussion and potential action to adopt resolution of the City Council of the City of Brawley amending fiscal year 2018-2019 City of Brawley budget for the fire department in the amount of $9,330.16, and authorize the Brawley Fire Department to purchase a utility truck command vehicle via a piggyback provision of the State of California Contract 118-23-20A and install certain features and equipment in a total amount not to exceed $54,326. And the backup is on pages 71 through 78. Hi, Mr. York.
Good evening, Mayor Pro Tem, members of the council. Michael York, Acting Fire Chief. The Brawley Fire Department is seeking the approval to purchase a utility vehicle. The vehicle that we have specified will be a new addition to our fleet and will fulfill a role that's currently unsupported fully. The vehicle will be utilized for crew transport to training and mutual aids. It will provide a more capable vehicle for the wildland incidents we've been responding to, the strike teams in areas of California. It will also be used to haul equipment and tow our light and air trailer, as well as having the capabilities of operating as a command vehicle if needed.
Okay. There's a lot of material here. Does anyone have any questions of Mr. York?
I'll make a motion to approve the item.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Congratulations.
Thank you.
Congratulations to Colin on his driver's permit as well.
He does,
Son,
he's got a
yeah.
driver. Cool. Don't let him drive this.
Okay, moving on to item number 5F. A discussion and potential action to approve the updated project cost in the amount not to exceed $31,743.87 to repair a sewer lift station number 3 located in the Latigo Ranch subdivision. And the backup is on pages 79 through 86. Guillermo?
Yes, as you might recall, this item was brought to council at the end of 2018 for the emergency repair of this lift station. However, after further investigation by the supplier, they found that the pump rail in the chain that are needed to pull the pump and just simply do the switch or the replacement, this rail is broken and we need or they need somebody to go down and do a repair. And this, since it's, the wet well is about 25 feet deep, so it is required a confined space special permit. And so we contacted A&R to get an estimate on this part of the project, and they provided us a quote. So now we have to use A&R to pull this pump, and the supplier do the replacement of the pump. Additionally, they found when they were doing the investigation that another components were damaged, and that they will need to include it to be able to warranty the pumps and the performance of the plant. So that's the reason to do this amendment or a replacement on resolution to include these new items that were discovered later on after the approval of the previous resolution.
I see in the backup that this was previously approved back in November of 2018.
Correct.
This is, yeah, an additional
Okay.
revenue. Just one question, is this needed, this is gonna be needed for the new, if the new housing goes in that area or anywhere in that area, this is gonna be a part of that, right? This is
Correct.
assist with all of that?
Yes.
So it's set up to pump more sewage than just the part that's from the houses that are currently there. This will impact the entire system, right?
Right. So the lift station was designed to provide service to the entire subdivision.
Okay, all right, so.
Any other questions? Okay, I'd like to entertain a motion to,
So moved.
okay.
I'll
Second? Oh, go ahead.
I'll second it.
Okay. All those in
All two and a
favor?
half it? Yeah.
Aye.
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 Any opposed? Okay, the motion carries. Thank you,
Thank you.
Guillermo. Okay, after all those resolutions, we can move on to departmental reports. And our city manager, no, we have. are you
Actually,
gonna
I will be
report
doing
for-
it on
Yes,
behalf-
because she's not here.
Yes,
Okay,
yes.
thank you.
You're very welcome. So included in the backup is an announcement of a really fun upcoming event being hosted by our library. in coordination with, or in collaboration with MetaHumans Comics of Imperial Valley. On May 4th, we'll be hosting a Star Wars and Free Comic Book Day at 400 Main Street at our main branch library. And a series of fun activities are scheduled that start at 10 a.m. With the comic book giveaway, followed by a pool noodle lightsaber activity and comic book story time at 10:30. We'll be hosting a comic artist and illustrator and featured speaker Dave Garcia at noon, and later in the afternoon from 2:30 to 4:30 we'll have a cosplay event with photo ops. So we're looking forward to the community coming out. This was designed around a ton of interest in comic books and Star Wars in particular, and we look forward to hosting a successful event.
Sounds fun. Okay, thank you. Okay, we'll move on to item 7, City Council member reports. We'll start with Councilmember Luke Hamby.
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem. I got to attend a flag ceremony at the Chamber of Commerce where the American Legion donated a flag to the Chamber of Commerce because their flag has been stolen a couple of times. And I think some of it they thought was vandalism, and some of it that they thought was maybe someone upset that they were flying the American flag at night without a light on it. So I went over, I installed some solar-powered spotlights on the post to shine up at the flag, and then installed a lock box on the rope itself so that people can't just pull the flag down and take it. So then a couple of guys from the American Legion came over and presented the flag and raised it at that time. And then right after that, and Mayor Pro Tem Howdigi was there with me for that. And then we went over to the chamber mixer at the American Legion right after that. So it worked out schedule-wise, I guess.
Yeah.
I also got to attend the Taco Showdown on Saturday evening, and that was quite a successful event, it looked to be. And I was impressed with it this year as I was last year. The luchadores, they were just right on target Saturday evening, so it's very interesting to watch. And the tacos were very good as well. I attended a Parks and Rec meeting this afternoon, and we discussed, among other things, the tree planting program that's taking place currently throughout the city of Brawley, as well as on some of our school properties. So I look to see some shade trees growing up pretty quickly here in the near future. They say that the best time to plant a tree is 20 years ago, but the next best time to plant a tree is right now. So that's what we're going for.
Sounds shady.
Sounds shady, yes. Definitely shady. And that's it for my report, other than I would like to wish Mayor Pro Tem Howdigi a happy birthday tomorrow.
Oh.
Happy birthday tomorrow.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
I guess we could sing a song.
Oh, that's okay.
Yeah, we could. We could.
Won't embarrass you.
That's
That's
okay.
it for my report.
All right. Maybe we can do the singing after.
Okay.
Well, we'll do it.
Thank you for your
Closed
report.
session.
Thank you.
We'll do that.
Sam?
Okay. I attended the hospital auxiliary, had an attic treasure sale a couple weeks ago or a week or so ago. I attended that. They have it out at the hospital. They use the money from sales of people donate items, and they sell those items, and then they use that money to buy equipment for Pioneers Hospital. And so that was a nice event. I also attended the IID meeting for the discussion related to the undergrounding of the Best Canal, and I thought that went well. And Mayor Pro Tem Howdigi was there, and our city manager was there, and I thought that it met some positive reception from the IID, and hopefully we'll get that resolved here in the next couple of weeks. I also, on Saturday, I attended the Easter egg hunt that we sponsored at Pat Williams Park. Not a lot of attendance. The attendance was much lower this year, I think because it was a week ahead of time. But the children were there, and they were very, very excited, and the Easter Bunny was there. And I got my picture taken with the Easter Bunny. And so I went to that. And then from there, I went to the library book sale out here on the plaza. And from there, I went to a noon church event. One of our city employees' daughters had a 15th birthday, and she was at Sacred Heart Church, and I went there at noon. Then I went to the taco event at 5 o'clock, and then I went from there to the Pioneers Memorial, the Pioneers Hospital, the Pioneers Museum dinner, which is their annual dinner and raffle and other things that they do and sale that they do to raise money for their event. And then I went back to the quinceañera at Cheval Farms. And then today I went to the IVROP Community Foundation meeting and the police officer swearing in today. And so with that, that is my report. I appreciate all the work being placed out there by the city employees. It looks like McDonald's is almost ready to open. So they're pouring concrete, and we can all these young people will be able to go there to eat. And so that's a positive.
Everybody's happy.
Yeah, everybody, look at them
smiling.
happy. Okay, so that's my report.
Okay, thank you, Sam. George?
You think the Easter Bunny went back to his Easter Bunny friends and said, "Hey, I got to take a picture with Sam Catchman," or no?
We made the Easter Bunny take a picture with
There
me.
you go.
Alma did it.
And I approve.
It was like he's got it on his wall and everything at home.
Yeah,
That's
a large,
cool, man.
8 by 10.
Councilman Nava?
So April Mixer, I attended that. That was with the American Legion. So I was able to attend that. I actually missed out on several events this weekend. I was with my son for Parent Day for Channel Islands University of Cal State University Channel Islands. So went to attend that nice little campus, and it was a good time spending some time with them. We flew out of Imperial. I've flown out of Mukulele multiple times, and it's always really a good experience. The airline has been very, very consistent, and the flight is uneventful, and that's always a good thing, right? So
Oh, yeah.
And it's very reasonable too, right, the price?
yeah, well, it beats driving through LA, and that is almost 4 hours sometimes, and it's a better experience. At any rate, so I missed out on a lot of things, and I'm glad to hear that they went well. There's a lot of upcoming things over the next couple of weeks, and so that includes like the Energy Summit that's coming up. There's the apartment complex Chelsea, I think that's coming up next week or the week after, and then there's I have some meetings representing the city on IVDC, on the IVDC board, a quarterly meeting that's important. So, and of course SCAG is coming up in the next few weeks as well. So that is all good information and good stuff to grab for our city, and I'm looking forward to it. But would like to thank staff and everybody else who's doing their part. And thanks again. So that's my report.
Thank you, Councilman Nava. Okay, as was stated previously, I did attend a lot of the same events. I did attend the flag raising event at the American Legion. It was very nice. And thank you for your contributions, the equipment to light up the flag and all that. I think it was very much appreciated. And I also attended the IID board meeting, and I feel the same as Sam. I think it was a very positive meeting, and we're hoping to get some good news from them regarding the undergrounding of the Best Canal to help the city of Brawley. And I also went on a little kind of a trip, rendezvous with the executive director of our Imperial County Film Commission. Since I'm new on that board, she invited me to go out to look at the sites that are most frequented by the filmmakers out here in Imperial County. So we ended up out there on Bombay Beach, and also at Slab City, Nyland, Salvation Mountain, and a place called Jesus.
East Jesus.
Something, yeah. It was all very, very interesting. I took a lot of pictures. I really enjoyed it. The weather was great. We even popped into a restaurant over there. It's a restaurant bar. If you haven't been out there, don't knock it till you try it. It's really nice. I'm planning on taking my grandkids out there because there's a lot of art that, is very creative stuff out there that all these people make. But if you're going to do this, make sure you try to get out there this month, because I think once it gets hot, it's not going to be that enjoyable.
And during daylight.
And during,
That's
yes,
another-
definitely
Don't go
during
out
the
at night.
daylight. And for you kids, if you're going to go, please take an adult or go in a group, okay? That's my advice. But I did have her to take me around, so I really, and we actually met a crew that was filming out here that day, and they were filming out in Nyland, and I had passed by that building many times, I think, but I had never really paid that much attention. I think it's an old bank, and it still has a safe in there, and very interesting. They
still
use,
it?
now they use drones though, with cameras to do a lot of the filming. And while we were there, we were kind of walking around and they asked us to please get out of the way because we were in the way of the drone, but otherwise we would have come out in the film, I guess, but anyway, that was all a very interesting, experience. And then I attended our taco showdown this weekend, and I have to say that I think the numbers were really great. There was a lot of people out there. Everybody enjoyed it. The weather was perfect. The wrestlers were good. The taco eaters were good. And the tacos, I even took some tacos home. So if you didn't make it this year, that's one of our biggest events here in Brawley now. So try to make it next year to that one. I think that's probably going to be one of the standout events for our city besides the cattle call and our parade. So that concludes my report. Do you have anything with that?
I do have a brief presentation
Okay.
to provide council and the community on some recent topics in the news.
Okay.
And a few
All yours.
additional comments.
All
And if I
yours.
may step down to
Sure.
do a PowerPoint. Okay.
State your name for the record, please.
Always good to be before the council. Let's see.
Should I look this way or that way? I guess I'll look that way.
A number of questions have arisen in the public arena of late as it relates to the city's approach to compensation of our sworn officers in the police department. And so in response to a great deal of public posting and comments, I have prepared a very brief presentation that's meant to kind of give a refresher to the council and provide the public with a recap of where Brawley stands as it relates to merit increases and cost of living adjustments for our sworn personnel in the police department. So I have a brief report, only about 4 slides to recap with you, and certainly have lots of additional information should it be of interest to council or community members. Okay, so one of the items that has been regularly discussed is the fact that the city has not kept pace with CPI adjustments. These are the Consumer Price Index. And one of the statements that has been presented to the city as a question is it true that the city has not offered any cost of living adjustments in the face of changes in CPI? And what we did as staff is compile some information on a 10-year time horizon that spans 2008 to 2018. And in that window of time, you can see that the COLAs that have been issued, these are cost of living adjustments between the years 2008 and 2018, have clearly outpaced CPI. Now, the CPI that we're using is the same CPI that comes before council every year when we evaluate adjustments to our franchise agreement with our trash hauler. We use the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics, the CPI indices for Pacific cities, and we specifically look at the western region of the U.S. For cities that are less than 1.5 million in population. So the CPI references are pulled from those published sources over a 10-year period, and we've also referred to our approved memoranda of understanding with the Brawley Public Safety Employees Association for contracts that comprise that 10-year, that span the 10-year period. And you can see our COLAs amount to 20% over 10 years, with the CPI adjustment of less than 15. Okay. And want to also take a moment to note that in addition to COLAs, the city has had merit increases in effect for the majority of the 10-year period. The exception to that is a period that spans July to November July 2011 to November of 2012, merit increases were placed in a frozen state. But aside from that, the 3-year period from January 2008, to June 30, and December 1 to current, have always had merit increases in effect. And just as a reminder, for BPSEA, there are 6 potential steps associated with a officer's movement through various milestones and meets acceptable standards performance evaluations. So what it means when the merits are in effect is you have the ability to move through those first 3. The remaining 2 are in effect, the remaining 3 are in effect based on not only a successful performance evaluation and on occasion testing, but aren't driven by whether or not there's budget available. So want to draw that distinction for merit increases.
Are those
Yes.
5%?
I'm going to have Shirley for a moment. They actually aren't a perfect 5% between each. Our general rule of thumb is to attempt to provide through all of our ranges throughout the city an exact 5%, but it's not where we are due to carryover math through the years between the steps. If you want to maybe walk through the 6 steps and how that works. for
No
everybody.
problem. An officer comes in as a PO3, if you will. A 1-year successful performance evaluation, meets standards or above, goes to PO2. Again, successful performance evaluation, meets standards or above, goes to PO1. 1 year after that, they can take an oral examination only, and they become an Agent 1. 1 year merit performance evaluations that meets or exceeds, they go to Agent 2. Agent 3 is the same process, only you have to have 60 units of college credits.
Go to Agent 3, okay.
The number, percentage between?
Sorry, yes, we don't have exactly 5%. I think that was the goal. It varies between 4.4 to 4.8. It was mathematically done manually rather than put in an Excel spreadsheet. And that correction has not been made yet to do the 5% separation.
Okay, but it's close to 5%.
Yes.
Okay, so this, the references that are being made to merits as well as COLAs were referring specifically to sworn officers. So it's not the non-sworn personnel.
Right.
What we're, the subject matter of these 2 slides is sworn officers. BPSEA does not include sergeants. Sergeants have their own collective bargaining unit, and I have a quick recap of what those represent as well. Okay, so for sergeants, we have a similar trend, but by a greater amount, a greater difference between CPI adjustments and COLAs. For sergeants, our cost of living adjustment has exceeded 20%, with CPI representing less than 15%. And again, using those same frames of reference, but different MOUs to establish that. And all of this is a matter of public record. Our MOUs are available for any member of the public who wishes to see where those figures were drawn. We're happy to assist with providing that information and the data points that help to create this aggregate form here before you tonight. And then last but not least is the merit increases in effect. If an individual has not topped out and made it through the 3-2-1 format and the,
Sergeants is different.
I'm sorry, my apologies, the 5 steps of a sergeant. Sergeants have 5 steps. So if they make it through all 5 with successful evaluations, you top out at step 5. If you've had 5 successful reviews and 5 merit increases, you are topped out at 5. But for anybody else who's new to the system, they have been eligible for merit increases for all periods of time with the exception of July 2011 to September 30th, 2012. So when you look at how pay adjustments have been handled for the department, what you see is that the city, over a 10-year period, has both, for the majority of the time, had merit increases in effect, so there are changes in pay as an individual successfully moves through evaluations, and that cost of living adjustments have been paid to employees at a rate faster than the consumer price index for our area. If there are any questions, I'm certainly happy to take them, or if any members of the public would wish to have more detailed information, we are resources. Anybody have any questions? Okay.
Thank you for the
Thank you.
information.
Thank you,
You're welcome.
Rosanna. That was very thorough information.
And I had one additional item for City Manager's report. I wanted to share with the council that this morning I met with the U.S. Census Bureau's representatives who are out implementing the California portion of the count. We will have an item that we'll prepare for the council's consideration in the not-so-distant future. Our hope is within the next 60 days, we'll have a resolution to bring before you on a number of strategies to improve the count in our city and best position our agency for the receipt of funds into the future that are population-based.
Okay.
So with that, that is my report.
Okay, thank you, Rosanna. Okay, we'll move on to item 9, City Attorney Report.
Save it for a closed session.
Thank you. City Clerk Report.
Just a reminder of tomorrow's luncheon, starting at 11:30
Okay,
at the Doggo.
all right, thank you. Okay, we'll go ahead and go into closed session. I want to thank everybody for being here, and I failed to thank actually the police department and all the personnel that helped out here this weekend with the event, because there was a lot of activity, and as far as I know, everything went real smooth. I didn't hear of any problems, so thank you to all the staff and the fire and police that assisted out there.
We also had Public Works with the street closure and Parks and Rec with cleanup activities, which we're all performing great as a team.
Yes, everyone did a great job. Thank you.
Norma,
Thank you
would
very
you like
much.
to
Yes.
give the students maybe a chance to talk to us, 5 minutes maybe, before
Sure.
we go to close? They may want
Anyone,
pictures,
anyone,
too,
any
with
one of you want to come up for a few pictures, or you want to say anything?
They might